Hello. I want to take.
Hello, Father.
Yes. Is it okay? Okay. Now
Okay, Father.
I want to talk to you something
Yeah, right.
different on a different topic. Here the idea
Yes,
is.
Father.
Yeah. Here the idea is extrinsic dependency. Extrinsic dependency. It comes in the context of human soul and life after death. How many of you believe that animals, plants have souls? How many of you believe? Give me a show of hand. Animals and plants, do they have souls? Anyone saying yes? Hello, hello. How many of
No.
No. Animals and plants, do they have souls?
No.
They have life, Father.
Animal might have others. I don't know, Father.
Okay, now listen carefully. According to Thomas Aquinas, animals and plants also have souls. Jains, Jains and Hinduism, they also believe that every creatures have their own souls. Aquinas also holds that animals, plants, they also have souls. The difference is animal soul is mortal. When the animals die, souls just disappear. Human soul is immortal. That means even when our body dies, the soul continues to exist. That is what Thomas Aquinas will try to tell us. And he wants to show this. Animal soul is mortal, human soul is immortal by a very, very ingenious concept. And that is what we are going to show in today's session. That is called extrinsic dependency. Extrinsic dependency. Let me take you to the screen there. So, this is our friend Aquinas, and his concept of extrinsic dependency, that is what we are trying to show. Extrinsic dependency. According to him, animals, plants, and humans have souls. But animal and plant souls are mortal because they are intrinsically dependent on the body, not extrinsically. While human soul is immortal because human soul is extrinsically dependent on the body. This is the key. For Thomas Aquinas, human soul is immortal because the human soul is extrinsically dependent on the body. Human soul is, sorry, I should have said, human soul is not eternal. Not eternal, the word immortal is wrong. Human soul is not eternal, but it is immortal because our soul has got a beginning, not an end. God's soul, angel's soul, we believe are eternal. In Hinduism, souls are eternal. They have no beginning, they have no end. But in our case, according to Aquinas, human soul has got a beginning, but no end. Therefore, human soul is immortal, not eternal. So, how does he show? It's very easy. What is intrinsic dependency? Intrinsic dependency. We are actually just beginning with the intrinsic dependency. Okay, we know that our eyes see objects, and seeing with the eyes is intrinsically dependent on the object, because when I remove this object from my eyesight, I don't see it. So for the process of seeing, the object must be there. Full stop. It must be there. If the object is there, eyes will see it. If the object is removed, eyes cannot see it. That is very clear. Such kind of a dependency on the object, the mobile or anything, that is called intrinsic dependency. What eyes do, what ears hear, what we touch, taste, all these are intrinsically dependent. In other words, all our physical activities, the five senses, they are intrinsically dependent on the object. Intrinsically means instantaneously, it is immediately present. While we can consider the process of thinking. Normally, to think about a mango must be there at least in the beginning. Even if the mango is taken away after having initially seen it, I can carry on thinking about the mango. So humans have got another ability like thinking, dreaming, wishing, daydreaming. For that, you need at least some initial contact. But after that initial contact, even though the object is taken away, we can keep on thinking and dreaming about the mango, about our friend, and all these things. That kind of a dependency is called extrinsic dependency. Intrinsic dependency was as in the case of seeing an object. Extrinsic dependency is like dreaming, thinking, wishing, planning. For that, the mango, the object must be there initially, but after that, the object may be taken away. Examples of extrinsic dependency. This is not intrinsic, but extrinsic dependency. The intellect, the will, planning, imagining, dreaming, wishing, daring to go. These are all examples of extrinsic dependency. So, all the animals, all our physical experiences are intrinsically dependent on the object. We believe with Thomas Aquinas that all animals see, taste, touch, and that somehow is intrinsically dependent on the object. Extrinsic dependency is connected with all our spiritual faculties like intellect and will, dreaming, planning, visualizing, and so on. All these extrinsic dependency is connected with the spiritual aspects, while intrinsic dependency is connected with the animals and our physical things. And what is important about human beings is we have both intrinsic and extrinsic dependency activities. Many of our activities like eating food, that is intrinsically dependent on the food. You cannot eat food if the food is not there. But planning to go outside and buy the food or order it from Alsaika Hotel restaurant, that is extrinsically dependent. I need to have some idea of Alsaika restaurant. I need to know what food is. And once I know these two things, I can plan, I can order. So there are some activities in the human, in our human life, which are intrinsically dependent, and some others which are extrinsically dependent on the object. Now, the metaphysical principle. As the operation, so the agent. As the activities, what is done, accordingly, the agent is also different. So the agent may be understood or defined according to the operations, activities that he or she makes. This is the basic metaphysical principle. As the operation, so the agent. Okay, now, since human beings have activities which are extrinsically dependent on the object, and this is the key. Since human beings have some activities which are extrinsically dependent on the body, our soul, human soul, is extrinsically dependent on the body. Human soul is extrinsically dependent on the body. This means that human beings will human beings will need the body to begin the process of having a soul. But once it is begun, then human soul can continue even if the body is taken away. So the soul can continue even after the body dies. That is what Aquinas would say. The soul can continue even after the body dies. So once again, animals, plants, and human beings, all of us have got souls. Animal and plant souls are mortal because they are intrinsically dependent on the body. Because animals and plants, their actions are intrinsically dependent on their object. Human soul is immortal because human beings have got some activities which are extrinsically dependent on the body. And this is what I have written correctly and like in the beginning. Human soul is not eternal because eternal means it has no end, no beginning. And something that is eternal has no beginning, no end, like God. But human soul is not eternal because human soul had a beginning. The beginning of the human soul is the formation of the body. So human soul has got a beginning, but then it has no end. And that is what Aquinas would really show us. Now, let me come back to another part, that is the intellectual dynamism we saw. We spoke about essence, existence, unlimited existence, and then we say that our intellect is open to unlimited existence, that is God. Now, similar to this intellectual dynamism, we can also speak about a volitional dynamism. Intellectual dynamism is connected with intellect, while volitional dynamism, as you can guess, is connected with the will. The will desires, executes, dreams. The will plans. The will goes ahead and gets it. And the object of the will is goodness. The object of the will is goodness, just like the object of intellect is knowledge or truth. So the same logic we can apply for the transcendental analysis of direct judgment, and then we can also bring in volitional dynamism if we move from intellect to will. So there is something called the volitional dynamism. We are not doing it, but we are just referring to it. It is parallel to the intellectual dynamism. So dear friends, have you got this? Basically the question of extrinsic dependence.